Hello, welcome back to a new video in our React interview series. In this video, we will be discussing about a very basic but important topic, that is conditional rendering. React is all about building dynamic user interfaces, but what makes an app truly interactive is its ability to show or hide different components based on certain business logics. And this is where conditional rendering comes into play. Whether you are showing loading spinner when data is being fetched, displaying a message when the list is empty, or showing user based layout based on their role, conditional rendering is everywhere in React. In our previous videos also in this series, we have used it quite heavily. So first thing we have done is we have just commented out all the things that we have returned earlier. And here I have created a separate conditional rendering.jsx module that has three components that we will be discussing for understanding conditional rendering. So case 1 is where we have a component called greeting, and we are using tertiary operators to specify different condition for rendering different output. For example, if user exists, then it will say hello and username, and if it does not exist, that is user is null, or any condition you give here is false, then it will say please log in. So how this work is, you have a condition, you have a question mark and a colon. If the condition is true, then this part works, and if condition is false, then this part works. Second case is where we use logical AND operator for rendering something. Here, as you can see that in the loader component, we are passing is loading as a prop, and if is loading is true, then we are showing the loading text on the screen. Next is when you have multiple conditions, say more than two. Here using something like ternary operator won't make sense. So better is that we handle the logic part separately, ideally in a function, and finally return the final output that we want to show to the user. Like here we have three conditions. First, if user exists, if it does not, then we say please log in. If user does not have access, then we say user access denied. And if both of these conditions are satisfied, like user exists and has access, then we say how are you, then username. So instead of doing all the operations in the return part in our JSX part, we are simply maintaining the conditions in logic part, and then we are just sending the final output in the return part. Now let's see in our app.js how we are integrating all these three components. So since it is a component module and we don't have the default export there, we are exporting them one by one. So component names will be inside these brackets, like dashboard, greeting and loader. Now here I have just created a state called user, and I have initialized with ID name and has access as per our use case. So for the first component greetings, let me comment this. So for the first component greeting, we are passing user equal to user that we have defined above. Let me comment these two and we will see what we have output. Now let's just see what is the output of the first part. So here, as you can see, I have passed user with my name, and you can see the output here. It says hello and user.name. Now instead of a legit user, if I pass something else, let's see what happens. Now I'm passing null there. Let's see what happens if there is no user. So it is saying please log in as per the condition that we have defined earlier. Let me change it back to user. Now for the second one, we have the loader component where we have used the AND operator. Here to simulate the loading, I have created loading state, which is the boolean, and its initial value is true. Let's say it false, and its initial value is true. So to simulate loading, I have simply given a use effect with a set time out of 5 seconds where set is loading is false, and after 5 seconds we will set is loading equal to false. And don't forget to clear the timeout if you unmount this component, as we have discussed in one of the previous lectures. Now let's see in our browser how this looks. So on refreshing the page, as you can see, I will see the loading text for 5 seconds, and just after the 5 seconds is over, it will say page content loaded, as we have defined in our JSX. Now for third case, as you can also see that I have given has access as a key in our user object. This can be anything, like in many of the situations in real life code, you have users at different level and different access levels are defined for them. So here in dashboard, we are passing the user, and let's see what's the output. So here the user was defined and had the access equal to true. So it will say how are you, and then user.name. Now let me set access to false, and let's see what's the output. Now as soon as I change my access to false, it has the output access denied. Now let's pass null in the user prop, and let's see what's the output. Now when I pass null, my dashboard component says please login. Here you can see that all the three conditions are working as we have defined in our dashboard component. So this was a pretty simple and straightforward topic, and it is one of the most common thing we come across while working on multiple components. I hope you liked the video If you do, then please hit that like button and subscribe to Skills Buffet channel for more technical content. Thank you and see you in the next one.